Hello. A frequent problem that we see is customers losing access to a Linux instance due to lost SSH keys. An example of this can be when someone leaves the company, or you set up a new laptop, or simply misplace the SSH keys corresponding to this instance. And in this video, we're going to go through the first of 3 ways that you can regain access to this instance. This first way is the easiest way, and that is to terminate the instance, preserve the boot volume, recreate the instance, and add a new SSH key in the process of new instance creation. The one downside to this method is that if you created an instance with an ephemeral public IP address, you will lose that public IP when you terminate the instance, and you cannot get that back. So if you want to preserve the ephemeral public IP address, use one of the other 2 videos to learn about regaining access.
It's also very important to note that this will only work on instances where the underlying image allows you to add an SSH key, and that SSH key is respected and used in the new instance. All Oracle-provided platform images will do this, as well as some other partner images. If you're not sure whether this will work for you, try creating a test instance with this image and see if it respects the SSH key that you provide in this step. If you're still unsure after trying that, then I would suggest using one of the other 2 methods in the following videos.
Links to the other 2 videos are in the comments below. If you would like to understand the difference between ephemeral and reserved public IP addresses, there is also a link in the comments below. All right, so here is our instance that we've lost the SSH keys to. I've already stopped this instance. Next, what I would like to do is create a boot volume backup. So I'll go down to boot volumes and click on the boot volume, and as part of that, then create a boot volume backup. Now you can see I've already done that here. So the next step is to restore from that backup to a new volume. You can see all of the backups that I've created, including this one, in your boot volume backups menu under storage. And then you can see the restored boot volume here under your boot volumes in the same area, different submenu. All right, so here's our newly restored boot volume. What we're going to do as part of the creation process is we want to restore an instance and reuse this IP address. So to do that, we're going to terminate this. As I said, you want to preserve the boot volume just in case. So terminate the instance. After that finishes terminating, we can reuse that IP address. We cannot reuse it prior to that. So 10.0.0.130. All right. Now that the instance is terminated, we can go to the newly restored boot volume, and you'll see that create instance is no longer grayed out. Let's create that instance. You can see that the image is that boot volume that we've newly restored. And this is a great time to also change the shape if you need to. Either add more CPUs, change the shape entirely. And what we're going to do down here is we're going to manually assign the IP address so that we can reuse the same one that was in use. In .0.0.130. And in this case, we're going to allow it to automatically create the public IP address. So this is an ephemeral public IP. And we're going to use one of the new keys that we've created and create the new instance. All right, so it's gotten far enough along that you can see it has successfully reallocated that same IP address. And here is the new public IP address. Let's wait for it to finish provisioning, and then we'll test SSH access. All right. When it says running, it just means that the process for creation has finished. The operating system may not still be fully available. We can check that by going to the console history and viewing the console history to see if we see a login prompt. All right, in this case, we see a login prompt. So let's try SSHing in. Let's copy the IP address, and you'll get this prompt the first time that you log into a restored instance. And we're going to say yes, and we're in. And that's it. It's that easy.